Cantos 55 to 57 of Book 3 of the Ramayana of Valmiki, translated by Ralph D.H. Griffith. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recorded by Om123. Canto 55. Sita in Prison. Thus Ravan his commandment gave to those 8 giants strong and brave, so thinking in his foolish pride against all dangers to provide. Then with his wounded heart aflame with love he thought upon the dame, and took with hasty steps the way to the fair chamber where she lay. He saw the gentle lady there, weighed down by woe too great to bear, amid the throng of fiends who kept their watch around her as she wept. A pinnace sinking 'neath the wave, when mighty winds around her rave. A lonely, heart-forsaken deer, when hungry dogs are pressing near. Within the bower the giant passed, her mournful looks were downward cast. As there she lay with streaming eyes, the giant bade the lady rise, and to the shrinking captive showed the glories of his rich abode, where 1,000 women spent their days in palaces with gold ablaze, where wandered birds of every sort and jewels flashed in hall and court, where noble pillars charmed the sight with diamond and legulite, and others glorious to behold with ivory, crystal, silver, gold. There swelled on high the tambour sound, and burnished all was bright around. He led the mournful lady where resplendent gold adorned the stair, and showed each lattice fair to see with silver work and ivory. Showed his bright chambers line on line, adorned with nets of golden twine. Beyond he showed the myrtle dame his gardens bright as lightning's flame, and many a pool and lake he showed where blooms of gayest colour glowed. Through all his home from view to view the lady sunk in grief he drew. Then trusting in her heart to wake desire of all she saw he spake. 300 million giants all, obedient to their master's call, not counting young and weak and old, serve me with spirits fierce and bold. 1,000 called from all of these wait on the Lord they long to please. This glorious power, this pomp and sway, dear lady, at thy feet I lay. Yea, with my life I give the whole, O dearer than life and soul. 1,000 beauties fill my hall, be thou my wife and rule them all. O hear my supplication, why this reasonable prayer deny? Some pity to thy sweeter show, for love's hot flames within me glow. This isle 100 leagues in length, encompassed by ocean's strength, would all the gods and fiends defy, though led by him who rules the sky. No god in heaven, no sage on earth, no minstrel of celestial birth, no spirit in the walls I see, a match in power and might for me. What wilt thou do with Rama, him whose days are short, whose light is dim, expelled from home and royal sway, who treads on foot his weary way? Leave the poor mortal to his fate, and wed thee with a worthier mate. My timid love, enjoy with me the prime of youth before it flee. Do not 1 hour the hope retain to look on Rama's face again. For whom would wireless thought beguile to seek thee in the giant's isle? Say, who is he has power to bind in toils of net the rushing wind? Whose is the mighty hand will tame and hold the glory of the flame? In the worlds above, below, not one of fairer form I know, who from this isle in fight could rend the lady whom these arms defend. Fair queen, over Lanka's island reign, sole mistress of the wide domain. Gods, rovers of the night like me, and all the world thy slaves will be. Over thy fair brows and queenly head let consecrating balm be shed, and sorrow banished from thy breast. Enjoy my love and take thy rest. Here nevermore thy soul shall know the memory of thy former woe, and here shalt thou enjoy the meed deserved by every virtuous deed. Here garlands glow of flowery twine, with gorgeous hues and scent divine. Take gold and gems and rich attire, enjoy with me thy heart's desire. There stand of chariots far the best, the car my brother once purchased, which, victor in the stricken field, I forced the Lord of Gold to yield. It is wide and high and nobly wrought, bright as the sun and swift as thought. Therein, O Sita, shalt thou ride, delighted by thy lover's side. But sorrow mars with lingering trace the splendor of thy lotus face. A cloud of woe is over it spread, and all the light of joy is fled. The lady, by her woe distressed, one corner of her raiment pressed to her sad cheek like moonlight clear, and wiped away a falling tear. The rover of the night renewed his eager pleading as he viewed the lady stand like one distraught, striving to fix her wandering thought. Think not, sweet lady, of the shame of broken vows, nor fear the blame. The saints approve with favoring eyes this union knit with marriage ties. O beauty, at thy radiant feet I lay my heads and thus entreat. One word of grace, one look I crave. Have pity on thy prostrate slave. These idle words I speak are vain, wrung forth by love's consuming pain, and never of Ravan be it said, he wore the dame with prostrate head. Thus to the metal lady sued the monarch of the giant brood, and she is now mine own, he thought, in death's dire coils already caught. Canto 56. Sita's Disdain. His words the mighty lady heard, oppressed by war but undeterred. Fear of the fiend she cast aside, and thus in noble scorn replied. His word of honour never stained, King Dasarat nobly reigned, the bridge of right, the friend of truth. His eldest son, a noble youth, is Rama, virtue's faithful friend, whose glories through the worlds extend. Long arms and large full eyes has he, my husband, yea, a god to me, with shoulders like the forest king's, from old Ikshaku's line he springs. He, with his brother Lakshman's aid, will smite thee with the vengeful blade. Hadst thou but dared before his eyes to lay thine hand upon the prize, thou stretched before his feet hadst lain, in Janustan like Kara slain. Thy boasted rovers of the night, with hideous shapes and giant might, like serpents when the feathered king swoops down with his tremendous wing, will find their useless venom fail when Rama's mighty arms assail. The rapid arrows bright with gold, shot from the bow he loves to hold, will rend thy frame from flank to flank as Ganga's waves erode the bank. Though neither god nor fiend have power to slay thee in the battle hour, yet from his hand shall come thy fate, struck down before his vengeful hate. That mighty Lord will strike an end the days of life thou hast to spend. Thy days are doomed, thy life is sped, like victims to the pillar led. Yea, if the glance of Rama bright with fury on thy form should light, thou scores this day wouldst fall and die, like Kama, slain by Rudra's eye. He who from heaven the moon could throw, or bid its bright rays cease to glow, he who could drain the mighty sea, will set his darling Sita free. Fled is thy life, thy glory, fled, thy strength and power, its sense is dead. Soon Lanka, widowed by thy guilt, will see the blood of giants spilled. This wicked deed, O cruel king, no triumph, no delight will bring. Thou with outrageous might and scorn a woman from her lord hast torn. My glorious husband far away, making heroic strength his stay, dwells with his brother, void of fear, in Dandak forest lone and drear. No more in force of arms confide, that haughty strength, the power and pride, my hero with his airy rein, from all thy bleeding limbs will drain. When asked by fate's dire mandate, nigh comes the fixed hour for man to die. Caught in death's toils their eyes are blind, and folly takes each wandering mind. So for the outrage thou hast done, the fate is near, thou canst not shun, the fate that on thyself and all, thy giants and thy town shall fall. I spurn thee, can the altar dight, with vessels for the sacred rite, over which the priest his prayer has said, be sullied by an outcast's tread? So me, the counsel dear and true, of him who clings to virtue too, thy hated touch shall never defile, base tyrant lord of Lanka's isle. Can the white swan who floats in pride through lilies by her consort's side look for one moment as they pass on the poor diver in the grass? This senseless body waits thy will, to torture, chain, to wound or kill. I will not, king of giants, strive to keep this fleeting soul alive, but never shall they join the name of Sita with reproach and shame. Thus as her breast with fury burned, her bitter speech the dame returned, such words of rage and scorn, the last she uttered at the fiend she cast. Her taunting speech the giant heard, and every hair with anger stirred. Then, thus with fury in his eye, he made in threats his fierce reply. Hear, mighty lady, hear my speech, list to my words and ponder each. If over thy head 12 months shall fly, and thou thy love wilt still deny, my cooks shall mince thy flesh with steel, and serve it for my morning meal. Thus with terrific threats to her spake Ravan, cruel ravener. Mad with rage, her answer woke, he called the fiendish train and spoke. Take her, ye Rakshas dames, who fright with hideous form and mean the sight, who make the flesh of man your food, and let her pride be soon subdued. He spoke, and at his word the band of fiendish monsters raised each hand in reverence to the giant king, and pressed round Sita in a ring. Ravan once more with stern behest to those she fiends his speech addressed. Shaking the earth beneath his tread, he stamped his furious foot and said, To the Ashoka garden bear the dame, and guard her safely there, until her stubborn pride be sent by mingled threat and blandishment. See that ye watch her well and tame, like some she-elephant, the dame. They led her to the garden where the sweetest flowers perfumed the air, where bright trees bore its rarest fruit, and birds enamored never were mute, bowed down with terror and distress, watched by its cruel giantess, like a poor solitary deer, when ravening tigresses are near. The hapless lady lay distraught, like some wild thing but newly caught, and found no solace, no relief, from agonizing fear and grief. Not for one moment could forget its terrifying word and tread, or the fierce eyes upon her set by those who watched around. She thought of Rama far away. She mourned for Lakshman as she lay, in grief and terror and dismay, half fainting on the ground. Canto 57. Sita Comforted. Soon as the fiend had set her down within his home in Lanka's town, triumph and joy filled Indra's breast, whom thus the eternal sire addressed. This deed will free the worlds from woe, and cause the giants overthrow. The fiend has borne to Lanka's isle the lady of the lovely smile, true consort born to happy fate, with features fair and delicate. She looks and longs for Rama's face, but sees a crowd of demon race, and guarded by the giant's train, pines for her lord and weeps in vain. But Lanka, founded on a steep, is girdled by the mighty deep, and how will Rama know his fair and blameless wife is present there? She on her woe will sadly brood, and pine away in solitude, and heedless of herself will cease to live, despairing of release. Yes, pondering on her fate, I see her gentle life in jeopardy. Go, Indra, swiftly seek the place, and look upon her lovely face. Within the city make thy way, let heavenly food her spirit stay. Thus Brahma spake, and he who slew the cruel demon Paka flew where Lanka's royal city lay, and sleep went with him on his way. Sleep, cried the heavenly monarch, close each giant's eye in deep repose. Thus Indra spoke, and sleep fulfilled with joy his mandate as he wheeled. To aid the plan the gods proposed, the demon's eyes in sleep she closed. Then Sachi's lord, the thousand-eyed, to the Ashoka garden hied. He came and stood where Sita lay, and gently thus began to say, Lord of the gods who hold the sky, dame of the lovely smile, am I. Weep no more, lady, weep no more, the days of war will soon be over. I come, O Janak's child, to be the helper of the Lord and thee. He through my grace with hosts to aid this sea-god land will soon invade. It is by my art that slumbers close the eyelids of thy giant foes. Now I with sleep this place have sought with the Horn Lady, and have brought a gift of heaven's ambrosial food to stay thee in thy solitude. Receive it from my hand and taste, O Lady of the dainty waist. For countless ages thou shalt be from pangs of thirst and hunger free. But doubt within her bosom woke, as to the Lord of gods she spoke. How may I know for truth that thou, whose form I see before me now, art verily the King adored by heavenly gods and Sachi's Lord? With Raghu's sons I learned to know the certain signs which God hath show. These marks before mine eyes display, if over the gods thou bear the sway. The heavenly Lord of Sachi heard, and did according to her word. Above the ground his feet were raised, with eyelids motionless he gazed. No dust upon his raiment lay, and his bright reed was fresh and gay. Nor was the lady's glad heart slow, the monarch of the gods to know. And while the tears unceasing ran from her sweet eyes, she thus began. My Lord has gained a friend in thee, and I this day thy presence see, shown clearly to mine eyes, as when Rama and Lakshman, Lord of man, beheld it, and their sire the king, and Janak too, from whom I spring. Now I, O monarch of the blest, will eat this food at thy behest, which thou hast brought me of thy grace, to aid and strengthen Raghu's race. She spoke, and by his words relieved, the food from Indra's hand received. Yet ere she ate the balm he brought, on Lakshman and her lord she thought. If my brave lord be still alive, if valiant Lakshman yet survive, may these my taste of heavenly food bring health to them and bliss renewed. She ate, and that celestial food stayed hunger, thirst, and lassitude, and all her strength restored. Great joy her hopeful spirit stirred, and the glad tidings newly heard of Lakshman and her lord. And Indra's heart was joyful too. He bade the metal dame adieu, his saving errand done. With sleep beside him parting thence, he sought his heavenly residence to prosper Raghu's son. End of Cantos 55, 56 and 57.